wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Francis Page Media. It's been a while. I did a live here about 3 days ago. Well, 4 days ago, guys. It's been a while. So I thought, why not catch up with you, my dear friends, to see what is going on in the world of our British royals. I think before we start, let us wait for a few other people to show up so that we can have a bit of an audience going forward, guys. In the meantime, I'll grab my cup of tea. Guys, I'm coming, but you're very welcome to this live. And it is brilliant today. It's been incredible weather-wise in the UK. We had a bit of a heat wave in the last few days, but things are now settling down. So we are having such a fantastic time here in the UK weather-wise. And in the world of our royals, it's been quiet, fairly quiet recently, but again, it is the summer break. So royals are taking a bit of a step back and refueling, refilling up all their energies so that they come back and again, do what they do best for our local communities. You're welcome to this channel. My name is Francis Page, of course, the owner of Francis Page Media, where you come on this channel to catch up with the latest that is going on in the world of our royals. Before we start, I would like to remind all of you guys that this is a channel where we come and share great views. Kindness is very important for us here, and also we share views that are helping to promote the well-being of our royal family, but as well as that, to get ourselves informed with what is going on in the world of our British royals. All the views that we share here, or the views you hear from me, are my own views, guys. I encourage all of you to do your research on your side so that we are all up to date or on the same level when it comes to sharing these messages. So welcome aboard, guys. I'm so glad that you're all here, stopping over here to spend some quality time with us, just to find out what has been happening in the world of our royals. Now, I'm sending greetings to every single one of you on this live here. Your support has been incredible moving this channel forward. Without you guys, I don't know where my channel would be. And of course, this isn't just my channel, but a channel for all of us to come here and sort of find this safe space to chill out and share some views around royals that are doing great work for our royal family, but also to keep up to date with what is going on the side of the Meghan and Harrys across the Atlantic. If you missed the last lives, guys, you can always catch up with them on my page. I think they are still there for some time until probably YouTube puts them in the background. But you will always find them there. I would very much love to download them and upload them back up as videos on demand, because that's how YouTube works. You download your live stream and then make it available for people to watch after. But because my lives are usually an hour plus, it can be challenging to download some of these lives and put them back up. So I tend to leave them as a replay, so that if you missed them, then you can always catch up with them on my page. I'll grab a cup of tea, guys. I'll be back in a second. So here we are. So guys, I I hope you managed to catch up with my recent video as well. I've just put up a video here about Meghan and Harry and what they really need to do to come back into people's good books. So you can always catch up with that as well on the page. I think it's only posted an hour ago. So yes, but I will leave the link in the comments section below again after this live. So if you need to catch up with it, you will just click the link and there we go. So I'm having my cup of tea here in this famous cup here, the Simpsons cup. And those who have been following me here for some time know that I love my cups of teas. Hi, Lorraine, good to see you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining in. Leslie, thank you so much as well for chipping in. Sorry, I had missed your comment there. The heat wave is gone now, yes. And oh, you came down to Windsor. Oh, it's very lovely, Leslie, isn't it? Windsor. Windsor is lovely. Of course, that's where the Windsor Castle is and where the Queen tends to chill out on most engagements, really, these days. Lauren, good. Thank you so much. You did a joke. The heat wave, I really did joke hand over well. I'm not very good with hot weather. Yeah, Lauren, it was really bad. Really terrible recently. Sleeping at night was difficult. So those 2 days were terrible for most of us here. And again, we're back to our normality now. And we thought we were going to get an hailstorm or some sort of harsh rain, but it didn't, thank God. But that is our weather here in UK. Where are you, Lauren, if I may ask? Did you say you live in Southampton? Is it Southampton, Nottinghamshire? I thought you told us last time, but I've forgotten. Do you live anywhere near the West Midlands, East Midlands area, Lauren? Let us know. Leslie, whereabout do you live? It's good to get to know you, my connections. So next time you're in the area, we can maybe grab a cup of tea or a coffee or something. Yes, but our royals have been extremely busy the few days leading into this summer holiday, and now they've taken a bit of a step back to chill out. Though we have seen Prince Charles going to the opening ceremonies of the Commonwealth Games, Birmingham, which is literally next door here, is the city hosting the Commonwealth Games, which have kicked up in great style. You know, so we saw Prince Charles posing for photographs with the participants and the Great Britain team, which was great to see because, again, that shows that our royals are very much in support of our local communities and are very much interested in what they do. And of course, not forgetting the funding that the royal family is injecting into these communities that are taking part in shape and any shape or form during the Commonwealth tournaments. So I live in Texas. It is really hot here, but we have good aircon. Yes, Texas, massive city, isn't it? Texas. Is that where the shootings were? That was really sad to see, Leslie. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope the communities have managed to rebuild back, to rebuild from that trauma, because we saw over the news that there was a bit of a shooting and families were really devastated. So I hope you're keeping really safe from those incidences. The world is now terrible, isn't it? Very rough things, harsh things are happening everywhere. We also have a lot of that here in the UK. And sadly, most of them are very are not reported, but it really hurts when those things happen. Sadly, no aircon in UK, Leslie, so it fans and ice pops and lots of saying it's too warm. Yes, it's too warm. But you know what, Lauren, this is how I solve my hot issues. So I get my cup of tea because it helps to cool the body down. When it's too hot, you you drink a bit of hot stuff to cool down. Funny how that works. Joseph, great to see you. It's been a while. And yes, great to see you here. I'm so glad you guys are showing up here. We are praying for you, Leslie, to, overcome those traumas. It was really terrible. So our royal family has been a bit of a laid back mood recently because most of them have been taking a break. Prince William and Catherine had taken a short break. They've just come back into action, and they will probably be showing up at the World Football Tournament, which is going to take place tomorrow. England luckily qualified for the Euros Championship final. So England women team is playing against the German football team, and Prince William, Catherine, and maybe Prince George are highly anticipated to take part or to attend that football tournament, which is due tomorrow. Did we all like Games opening ceremony yesterday, Prince Charles and the Duchess in the car? Yes, yes, that was really, really great. Lovely, incredible scenes. That Aston Martin, that car that turned up with Prince Charles and of course Duchess Camilla is one of those very, very posh, popular cars of the royal family. And Prince Charles has had this car since back in the 70s. So it is good to see that he turned up with Duchess Camilla, of course, looking great to bless the Commonwealth Games. And also, do we think we will see any royals at the moment football final? Yes, yes, yes. I just said that, Lauren. I think you might have missed that. We might see Prince William and Catherine for the football tournament because we know that Prince William is the chairman for the FA, which is the Football Association here in the UK. So games that are at that level, national level games, Premier League games are always going to be games that Prince William will very much attend to give that royal blessing. But also, most likely, he will be the one to hand over that trophy to the eventful winner tomorrow. So fingers crossed, we get to see them and Prince George. And of course, I think you saw a few days back when Prince William's family got given those football T-shirts with their names written on. So it's highly likely, again, they might turn up. The kids might turn up probably wearing some of these football T-shirts. Prince William might be, of course, we know he's the king, so he might be turning up in a suit and tie, but hey ho. We expect to see at least Prince William and Catherine attend the women football tournament tomorrow. So Prince Charles, of course, has been up here in Birmingham to bless the opening of the Commonwealth Games. And of course, he took photographs with the entire team just to give the tournament a good start. Okay, Queen Elizabeth sent a wonderful message to all the team members of the UK, of Great Britain who are taking part in the Commonwealth, but also sent a message blessing the whole tournament because, as we know, Commonwealth Games, these are games highly sponsored by Great Britain and games that are bringing all the Commonwealth states under the same umbrella. So it would have been a message which was going out to every nation, every participant that is going to take part in the tournament. So it was again great to see that royals are actively involved in these games. They are actively involved in the activities not just the activities of the royal family, but activities that are helpful, that are helping nations, communities thrive, which is a good thing. So we haven't seen much of Princess Royal Anne and the other royals because obviously they are also taking a break, being summer. The month of August is usually a summer break month for most royals. But again, we shall see them start to come up again as we near to the end of August. Prince William and wife Catherine are also planning to move residency to Windsor again this summer. So they are very, very busy. Of late, we haven't seen them appear on engagements because they are very busy in the background working on shifting their family to Windsor. and of course all the associated stuff that we know of moving into new places. They've got to find schools for the kids, because the kids were going to Battersea School in London, but because they are moving over to Windsor again, they have to find new schools for the kids, and so they most likely will be going to Eton or but they have to get all that sorted within this short space of time. How do we all feel about The Crown coming to an end? Does anyone watch it? Oh no, I don't watch it really, but I think I should. It's been going, isn't it? People are really following up on it. I keep seeing people posting clips of The Crown on TikTok, but it's I know they were trying to find somebody who would play Catherine Middleton, but I don't know if they managed to do that. But it's been struggling a little bit recently. But again, there's a lot that has been going on in the world recently, and of course, many shows, communities are affected differently, aren't they? But yeah, it's great to see you guys that you are really up to date with what is going on in the world of our royals. Queen Elizabeth is doing just fine, and she has been, of course, in the background doing a lot of handing over George crosses to community leaders and people who have excelled. Recently, she handed over George crosses to NHS workers. Those of you who might not know what George Cross is, it is a medal, or it is the highest honor that is awarded to somebody who has excelled at a given job, or who has done something outstanding for their communities. So that cross, it's a medal, is always going to be, it's priceless. You can't put a price to it, because it's priceless. That's the right word to say. So Queen Elizabeth has been handing most of these George crosses to people who have excelled in the background. Her mobility issues are not very much allowing, so we are going to see her slim down on the activities she has always been doing, and Prince Charles now is stepping up more and more. Can you imagine on these Commonwealth Games, usually we see Queen Elizabeth showing up, opening these ceremonies and in whatever way, shape she could, but this time around, of course, she couldn't, because of those issues we all know about. And lucky for us is that she has trained such a good team of royals, working royals that are stepping up these days. Prince Charles, especially nowadays, has been told to step up doubly, right? Doubly, to take on more engagements, to get out to the public and show his face more, because it is his time now. They're trying to superimpose him into those positions. He's been waiting for 72, 73 years. He's been training to be a king. And now is the right time for him to start now getting himself ready. And he has shown us more and more that he is more than ready to take on those responsibilities. So the last event that he showed up with Queen Elizabeth, I think, was in Holyrood for the Royal Week up in Scotland, and we saw, of course, Prince Charles inspecting the Guard of Honor, even when Queen Elizabeth was there. Something which is usually not done. When Queen Elizabeth is on an occasion, come rain or shine, she has to be the one to inspect the Guard of Honor. But we saw Queen Elizabeth comfortably passing that challenge to her son, Prince Charles, to go and inspect the Guard of Honor. And we saw Prince Charles doing that very well, came back and reported to the Queen that he had completed that assignment. But also we saw Prince Edward doing the same thing when he went to another ceremony again with Queen Elizabeth. I think that's still in Scotland. Was it a garden party or somewhere in Scotland a few weeks ago? And again, we saw the Queen delegating to Edward, Prince Edward, to inspect the guard of honor, even when the Queen was present. So these are all telltale signs for us that she is now starting to delegate those main duties. She is comfortably happy to hand over those duties now for the sons to her sons that she has trained for such a long time. So yes, Prince Charles is getting himself into those positions now. The Queen is more than happy now to sort of let Prince Charles to start, stepping up. Stepping up. We saw Prince Charles going to Brixton the other day, and we saw him again visiting communities in the southwest area of I think that was Hammersmith area of London, again to just say hello. He stopped over to say hello to people, but all in the name of trying to get his name out there, trying to step out more and try and win people's hearts. It's Mike and Zara's 11th wedding anniversary today. Yes, yes. Thank you for noting that. I was coming to it. But thank you for bringing it up now. It is their 11th wedding anniversary today, Mike and Zara. Oh, bless Zara. I think she's a lovely Princess Anne's daughter. She's really, really lovely. And we saw her at the St. Paul's Cathedral. I think that's when she actually appeared so much in the press for being the royal who talked to Meghan and Harry and showing them the nearest bus stop for them to catch their transport back to their Frogmore Cottage after the Thanksgiving service. But yes, happy 11th wedding anniversary. It's great to see them. I think Zara is awesome. These are the royals that are usually unsung, but they are in the background doing a lot of great work. And of course, Princess Zara's mom, Princess Royal Anne, is very, very great and a hardworking royal. And we see Zara coming through the ranks as well to be just like her mother. And so we are also due to see William and Catherine's birthday, which is a joint birthday due to be celebrated. But I think this is all going to happen once they have fully settled down in Windsor. And it's highly likely the birthday celebration will be in Windsor Castle, because many people were thinking it might be at Sandringham Estate. But because of Queen Elizabeth's health issues and mobility issues, so they might want to hold that ceremony much closer to Windsor Castle, where the Queen would be able to attend. So it's great again to see that these things are happening. Our royal family is still moving forward very strongly, and all royals are working terribly hard to see that Her Majesty's work still continues the way it should be going. Okay. So across the Atlantic, guys, Meghan and Harry are there. They are struggling very, very much. And of course, there is that book that was released by Tom Boyer, The Revenge, where he was talking a lot about Meghan's faults and how he was this and that. And that book really, really was an eye-opener to so many people. And it has really, really got a considerable amount of airplay. And Tom has appeared on so many media channels, of course, answering questions. And at some point, he was asked whether Meghan was going to take him to court for whatever he said in that book. And Tom said, I challenge her to do so, because she knows everything I said in that book was right, 100%. And so, whatever he said, anyway, most of those things the world had seen with their eyes. And also, we know that Meghan had got a very, very good landing in the royal family. She had been given people to train her, including Catherine and William. She had been shown around the palace. She had a team of 14 people, highly trained people, royal experts within the royal family to help her navigate around her roles in the royal family. So there was nothing that could stop Meghan to perform and become that good royal everybody expected her to become, but only she decided that it wasn't for her. And of course, when she left, she went back to the United States and took Prince Harry with her. Everything has now gone down the drain. Okay, so we have seen how she is now, of course, jumping into joining politics now. And of course, we know that the Democratic people or the Democratic Party in the United States is also not fully trusting of Meghan and Harry, especially after all that they have had. And now Tom's recent book, The Revenge, has also added salt onto that, because whatever they said in that book is exactly what has been going on in the world of Harry and Meghan. And it is highly likely that people are going to trust her in the near future, trust the Sussexes in the near future. So there is a lot of work the Megans need to do to get back into people's good books. Of course, we know how much they are losing big contracts that they had signed simply because they have become such a huge risk to work with. Establishments are looking at them as a risk to get involved with them, not even their good friends. Remember the friends of Meghan and Harry that attended, well, we wouldn't say Harry's friends, mostly Meghan's friends, who attended their wedding, the George Clooney's and the Beckhams, name them all, the Serena Williams and all the actresses that attended the wedding. None of them is in contact with Meghan, because so most of them are distancing themselves, because it's really dangerous nowadays to be seen with Meghan and Harry in any shape or form, because people now associate them with failure, they associate them with distrust, dishonesty, and all those things. Okay, so it has been really difficult in the world of Harry and Meghan. And we know that, of course, the royal family can't trust them anymore to let them back in to do any duties. It was reported a few weeks ago that they were considering coming back as part-time royals, but only after Queen Elizabeth has handed over the throne, because they know Queen Elizabeth would never see those two work for her again. Okay. Later on, even giving them the opportunity to have a word with them. So right now, if you want to know how bad it is, I stand a high chance of getting an appointment to go and see Queen Elizabeth more than Meghan and Harry would. And the reason for that is that the Queen, or even those in the royal circles, are very worried of what Meghan and Harry could turn their words into. Okay, because we know each time they have met any senior member of the royal family, for example, they met the Queen shortly before they went for the Invictus Games. We also them coming in. And 24 hours later, Harry was already in front of the press giving an interview on how he came and saw the Queen and talked to the Queen and making sure everything is okay around the Queen, and of course boasting that he is doing such and such for the Queen, and this is why he went to see the Queen. So the royal family since then said, "Ooh, hang on, we are going to be very careful on how we get this back in." Because every time they get that chance to come back, they go away, make an interview, and speak about what they have seen, what they've gone through. Some of these things are meant to be left private for the family. Okay, there should be a bit of privacy for the family. And this is where the Meghan and Harry's failed. Okay, so even during the Oprah Winfrey interviews, the things they said, some of which were supposed to be family issues, saying them out there in the open on an interview that is watched by over 200 million people wasn't going to be good news for the royal family. Okay. So that is why it's very, very, very difficult nowadays for the Queen to say yes to Meghan and Harry coming over. So recently it was reported that Meghan and Harry were supposed to come and spend some time with Queen Elizabeth at Windsor Castle this summer. Is it Sandringham this summer for the summer break? But uh, it turned out that they were not invited. Okay, so whether the initial report had some faults, there was a communication error there. But again, it was reported that right from the onset, these two were not invited. And the reason they were not invited could have been allegedly that they still can't trust these two within closer royal circles because of what they could say after. Okay, with they have the capacity, the capability to change positive things into negative. Okay, and also we know that Meghan is not a figure that is liked here at the moment. So coming over here, whether it's for a short visit or whatever, would sort of cause a huge disruption. This disruption. Okay, and of course, the Queen nowadays is in a state where people don't want stress for her. They don't want her to encounter anybody who is going to add stress to her, because she is already taking on a lot. She's already, in a situation where she needs her rest, her peace, and bring Meghan and Harry into the mix. Definitely, this is not going to be great news for around Queen Elizabeth. Okay. And then we know they have an ongoing lawsuit against Her Majesty's government for security issues and all that. So again, how could they be invited to come over here when they have all these sort of opposing forces going on behind the scenes? Okay, so it would be a lot of hypocrisy going on here. So I think that is why the royal family these days is distancing itself from the Meghan and Harrys. Prince William and Catherine are due to travel to Boston later this year, December time, for the Earthshot project. Prince William is building such a massive global project in this Earthshot campaign to encourage local people, to come up with initiatives that are going to help the world combat climate changes. And this project has taken off, really. It's now in Saudi Arabia. We saw we saw Prince William taking it over there. Now it's coming to United States. There are talks of the project going beyond Africa and Asia, maybe. But said about my Buckingham Palace visit. It's a Christmas gift. Oh, yes. Christmas gift. So you're coming to Buckingham Palace. Ooh, lovely. That would be great. And of course, you are visiting at a very right time, Lauren, because the palace rooms are now open. I think they are open from August till, I think for 22 days. So for 22 weeks. So from August, the public can go and visit Buckingham Palace, the palace rooms. So you could actually have an opportunity to get around most of these places. And the palace looks very, very beautiful. So you're going to have such a fantastic time, Lauren. Sadly, no photographs, no cameras are allowed one inside there during those inside tours of Buckingham Palace. But again, in the garden, I think you'll be able to use your cameras as much as you can. Okay, so I've been there not just once, but about 3 times. But it's lovely, such a wonderful experience, Lauren. And when you call it a Christmas gift, you are very, very right. You're in for some really, really great things here. But give us a shout, Lauren, when you're due to go, so we can again see if you can do a live with us in the gardens or something. But it will be great again to put a bit of icing on the cake to your Buckingham Palace visit. Yes, so Prince William and Catherine, I said, are due to go to United States, Boston. So United States media is all gone frenzy. Publications now, the news channels have started reporting this. Boston is having such a huge facelift, especially where the Earthshot event is going to take place. It's not going to be far away from the Massachusetts School of Technology. So it's going to be somewhere around there, but I'll get you some more details once the event draws closer. But we hear that the environment is already starting to boil up. Okay, they are giving Boston such a huge facelift, and what a place to set up for this event, because Boston is thriving. It's one of the most thriving communities now in the United States, but also it's a little bit closer to all these other big global cities of United States. So it is such a wonderful venue to showcase the Earthshot event. But also the reason why Prince William set Boston as the venue for to host this event is because the two gentlemen that he's working with on this project, I think, hail from Boston. And they also have some good links with Boston School of Technology, Harvard University, where all the research is being done. So they thought taking this project closer to these areas would really be ideal, since they have a lot of special attachments and they have a lot of work that, earlier on building this project up that started from Boston itself. So it's such a reward to see that Prince William is taking these events down to Boston. So people were, of course, asking whether Prince William will get to meet his brother Harry while in the US, and the answer is a big no, because William said this is not a union sort of meeting or a uniting meeting or a family event, but rather an official working trip. And of course, he doesn't want the news of all brothers I've met here to overshadow his project. But also, we know that they haven't really sat down to heal their wounds or to sort of repair relationships. So it would not be ideal for them to meet at this stage, especially during when Prince William is going to be very busy preparing his speech, meeting participants, and preparing to give awards to those who have excelled in this Earthshot project initiatives and all that. So it isn't going to be possible for William to meet Harry and Meghan, and I don't think they are going to be meeting them very soon. Okay. We also know that Catherine herself hasn't fully healed from whatever Meghan said to her, said about her in the Oprah Winfrey interviews. Remember the first time they met since the Oprah Winfrey show? The last time Catherine saw Meghan since the Oprah Winfrey show was during the Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Cathedral. And you also how the environment was very intense, with Catherine nearly sobbing because she just couldn't put up with the fact that somebody was in that room, somebody who said such horrible things about them. Okay, so yes, no, the Cambridges won't be meeting the Sussexes on their trip to Boston, because the Sussexes haven't earned it in any way. They haven't showed interest in trying to repair these relationships. They haven't done enough to prove to people that they are now worth trusting. And because of that, it is going to be very difficult for any meaningful engagements to take place involving other royal members, other working royals meeting uh, Prince Harry and wife Meghan. It must be very difficult for Meghan and Harry though, because I don't think anybody would love to be in those two shoes. They are wearing the heaviest boots around, because even people within their royal circles are just too scared to be seen around them. Okay, they are considered a big risk by organizations because of whatever they said in those interviews, because of their ongoing battle against their own families. Okay, we know Netflix was due to start or embark on certain projects with them, but some of these projects have been dropped. We know how the Penguin Book Association dropped Meghan's book. Okay, simply because of again what is going on in the world of Meghan. Now we also know how Spotify dropped all those projects. Okay, we know that Prince Harry had got himself a job as the chief impact officer in an organization, someone in USA. But since then, we haven't had anything much come from that side of things. Again, something that shows us that maybe things were stopped at some point so that Meghan and Harry can get themselves out of the scrap that the mess they've put themselves in. Okay, so we can only sit down here and say we hope that they get to look deep inside of themselves to see that they really need to come in tune with people. They need to rethink the way they have been doing things. They need to drop that negative mindset of thinking that the whole world is against us, okay, and that approach of victimizing themselves, thinking they are racially abused, they are, they are called this and that, to actually believing that we were wrong in the first place. We, with what we said, we probably needed to come down on earth and apologize, But who can apologize, Meghan, Harry? I highly doubt they can do that. And unless they do that, they are always going to be finding it very difficult moving forward in whatever projects they want to set their hands on. Okay. So we know that around Christmas time, royal family meets all these family members. Royal family members meet at Sandringham Estate, with their families to see the Queen have wonderful Christmas celebrations. And, Princess Anne's daughters bring their kids. William and Kate take their kids. Meghan and Harry would be taking their children as well, but we know that they cannot get themselves into those positions now. They can't even come down to spend Christmas with the Queen or with their first family, which is the royal family, simply because of the positions they've put themselves in. Okay. And things can be repaired, things can be sorted, but only if they allowed themselves to come down on earth. They come down to earth and start doing things correctly. Okay. Start talking about the royal family in ways that are going to appreciate the values and the work the royals are doing. Because can you imagine if Prince Harry woke up one morning and put up a post to say, "Oh, it was great to see William and Catherine attending this function here and there and doing what they did." Imagine how that could change things. Yeah. Imagine if Meghan and Harry woke up one morning and sent Zara, I know, a message that, happy 11th year wedding anniversary. Imagine how that could have changed things. Okay. So all they need to do right now is sort of put their ego onto one side and accept that there are people who are always going to be doing things well, people who we can learn from. In this case, William and Catherine, Look at how they are doing their things and then start emulating that. This is what Harry and Meghan need to start doing, which I don't see them doing in the next coming few years, if not forever, because of their ego. Okay. And we know that Meghan, of course, is aspiring to become a politician, going to run a high political office, because maybe she thinks this is what is going to take away all the evils she has done in the past, or maybe she wants to show the world that, yeah, look at me, this is where I am now. But before she can get there, not saying that she can't, okay, but before she can get there, it is very important to clean up the mess she has caused. It's so important to come back down here and start looking for ways of getting back into people's good books. Okay. It is high time she started talking great things about her husband's family. Okay. It's high time she started encouraging Harry to come back here and visit his relatives. Because as we speak right now, Harry is in the United States, such a lonely man out there. We saw him recently doing activities he loved doing while he was here, going to play polo, going out for drinks with some new friends he's made in the United States, things that he used to love doing while he was here in the UK. Again, a huge sign that tells us that he is really missing home. And what a difference that would have made if Meghan woke up one morning and said, Harry, can you go back and just to UK and just say hello to your brother, to your sister? Try and make up things. Try and make up with your brother. Because if you're a good woman, you're always going to want to see your husband be closer to their family. Okay? Because in the first place, she took Harry away from his family to United States. Okay? So until they change their approaches in doing things, I'm talking about Meghan and Harry, they are always going to find themselves in very difficult positions. And you guys will agree with me here on this live today, the 30th of July, that Meghan and Harry they were royal sweethearts before they left. They were inspiring many young people. When Meghan arrived, everybody thought, yes, there is a bit of balance into the royal family. This is a young couple. They are going to work together, grow together. Yes, hi, Phoebe. Thank you for coming in. Yes, and that is a really, really good question. Okay. Do you think they talk at all? Why would Harry allow to be controlled? That is a very big question. And of course, we have seen signs of people who are controlling. You can see their body language, okay, and Meghan very much exudes some of those signs, always holding, clutching Harry's hands and strapping his arm when he's talking to other people, trying to get back his attention to her and trying to cut him off from other people and all that stuff. So these are all habits of people who are controlling. And right now we think Prince Harry must be in very, very difficult positions where he is, yet he cannot come out and say these things. He has to wear this mask. He made his bed, he has to lie in it, sadly. But what we know is that if things go wrong, again, it will be his very own family here in the UK that is going to pick up all the pieces. Okay. It won't help. Yes, Lauren, that's really, really good of you to highlight that. It's their book, and of course we have seen Tom's book, The Revenge, that came out recently, highlighting all these faults in Meghan, and also highlighting what sort of person she was when she was in the royal family, and these things have sort of confirmed people's thoughts of what Meghan is really. Now, the book, Harry's book that is upcoming, which has been announced and announced and announced, which seems not to be coming yet, seems to have thought of being held back by Harry first and foremost, because he thinks, right, are the people going to take this book for the right? Are they going to take these words for the truth? Okay, so is this going to be the right time to bring this book out when the Revenge has just been produced? You know, talking about all these things Meghan has done, but also questions must be, Harry must be asking himself questions as well as to whether he needs to add other things in to counter what Tom has said in the Revenge book. So all these things are always going to hold this book from coming out, but I don't see it making an impact as well, because we know that for a book to sell, of course, there is what they call relationships building. You must build a relationship with agencies, with publishers, and all those people who are going to be involved in marketing your book. And Prince Harry and Meghan haven't done a hell of good work in that area. But we also know that Prince Harry is sort of at crossheads with his family. He's already in a position where he is very scared of again causing more damage to his family, and it's like, am I really prepared to release this book and just see and have to go through what I've gone through again? Okay, so he's asking himself these questions. He's in such a difficult position. You wouldn't love to be in his boots. But we know that again, behind the scenes, his wife, Meghan, is pushing him to release that book. Release it, drop the bombshells, drop them. You know, I'm here to support you. I've always been here. They treated you like this, they treated you like that. You're much more than what you are right now. They robbed you of this. Go ahead and release that book. So a lot of this encouragement is coming from Meghan, okay, to try and get Harry to produce that book. Okay, and Harry is like, I don't think I'm ready to put this book out there. And this could be the start or the beginning of Meghan and Harry falling out. Because I think it is just going to be one small argument like this that is going to make Harry realize that all this while he has been put in positions that are not right. If I'm wrong, guys, drop it in this comment section here and tell me, Francis, you're wrong there. Okay? But I would really love to be right about that. They better edit well. Why does that do to his family such a bad character from her? Absolutely, Phoebe. You know. Now here is a family that helped Harry's wife settle down in properly. The Queen apparently gave Meghan powers to invite whoever she wanted for that birthday, for that wedding ceremony. The Queen very much put Harry in charge of managing their wedding ceremony, gave them the freedom to do whatever they wanted because she wanted to see Harry happy. Okay. Yes, Lauren, yes, get a cup of tea and you will see such a big difference, Lauren, because I love my cup of teas, whether it's too hot, and you know, I always have a cup of tea with me. When you live here in England, you know, this becomes like a norm, doesn't it, Lauren? But get yourself a cup of tea. Let's have a chat. We still have a few minutes to go here, guys. But thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I really appreciate your support on these messages. We are trying to make sense of why things are happening. Okay, to be more based on the games. I forgot about the Netflix, but I do believe they're supposed to be more based on the games. Yes, Invictus games and all that. But again, Prince Harry allegedly is struggling to raise funds to run his next Invictus project. Okay, and the reason he's struggling to raise those funds is because he had hi Lily, great to see you pop in. Few minutes to end this live, but I think he will catch up with the late full details once the live goes up again. Yes, so Prince Harry is struggling to raise funds for his next upcoming project, Invictus Games. And the reason for that is because um, he had most of the funding come through payments here, through patronages and all that stuff. But he's no longer associated to any form of paid work here in the UK. So he has to raise his money. And we know that he's living such an expensive life in the United States with wife Meghan, the 1 million mansion they are living in Montecito, California, which has lots of huge bills to pay, and these two are not bringing in money constantly to manage running that life, yet alone the security they have to pay to be able to move around United States, which is also costing them a lot of money. So running a successful Invictus Games requires a huge chunk of money, something that Meghan and Harry are struggling with at the moment. So talks are, there's already a rumor going that he's thinking of actually sort of trying to pull out of this whole project for the time being as he raises money. And because we know his next Invictus Games is, I think, is going to be in Germany, which is also a very expensive venue to host the Invictus Games. But we know that Harry's relationships with people is not the best. He doesn't have those good relationship building skills. His wife is also promoting her ambitions to run as a US president. So right now, I don't think she's even doing anything to see Harry succeed in her Invictus Games projects. Okay, she's also looking after her own projects, trying to get into US politics. So Harry is a bit of a handbag man at the moment, which is so sad to see. Okay. Down this one. Yeah, it's true. Lady, thank you so much for logging in. Again, we can always catch up here. Lucky for us, these lives will always be here. I'll make sure that I sort of put a replay so you can always catch up with this. Lily, you're doing a great job there. Thank you so much, and send lots of greetings. The Spotify deal feels like it came to nothing with only 2 episodes. Yeah, Lorraine, yes, yeah, that Spotify thing. So people can't trust them. With that Spotify, don't forget they were paid money to produce, to get those podcasts out. They managed just one. And the reason for that is because they don't have good planning in place. To run these things, you must have a good plan in place. You must have a big team that is going to work with you, the team that really knows you, really knows your strength, your weaknesses. So they can work around those to make sure you produce something which is going to be tangible. Okay. But they don't have that, the Meghan and Harrys, so they are always going to struggle in any shape or form managing a successful project on their own. Okay, we know that when they were here working under the royal family, all these things were planned. They were pre-planned by the royal family. The royal family is a machine that has good establishment in organs in place to offer support to every working royal to make life easy, things simple, coordinate events here and there, speak to so and so, arrange security, arrange for that, all done for them. Now Meghan and Harry left, and in the way they left, they cut off ties, they cut off finances, everything. Okay, they are bound to struggle. Let us not forget Harry did not go very far away in terms of studying, and his intelligence, his knowledge is not that great to be able to think out of the box. And then he has Meghan here who thinks she studied. Yes, she does. She did study. She's very well educated, but again, she's somebody who is a bit selfish. So add those characters together, you're not always going to get something great coming out of those things, of coming out of any things that they set out to do. because one will be selfish and the other will kind of be stuck with what to do next. And this is the beginning of their failure. Okay, so I've already said they will end up back doing royal duties when they stop getting offers, and yeah, they won't do that forever, paying them. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But how can even they come back to doing royal duties if they are not making the effort to start cleaning up themselves? Because this would be the opportunity for them right now, when Queen Elizabeth is still here, to start rebuilding their relationship. Reach out to the Queen in ways that are more respectful, get down in any way you could to apologize. These things don't have to be public, but there is always a way of doing these things. Utilize they've got a following of about 9 million on their Instagram page, so they could use this platform to start acknowledging the good work of other royals like William and Kate, Prince Charles, Edward, Sophie, Princess Royal Anne. Start acknowledging the good work they are doing. Even a post about William and Catherine being here today, posted by Meghan and Harry on their website, could be enough to try and get people to see that maybe they are now starting to appreciate the work their other subjects are doing. Okay, but unless they start doing that, I don't see them getting better. Okay, or if anything, they are just going to put themselves in very difficult positions. And it's very expensive to live in United States, in huge mansions that they are living in, if you don't have a constant stream of income coming in. Okay, so today, guys, I thought we just literally catch up on these things and see what the Meghan and Harris can do. Lorraine, you've highlighted them coming back to work for the royal family, which I highly thought would happen, and such a good thing to see if they do that, because Harry was very much a loved royal. He had a huge following here, and I think very many young people really, really wanted to see him thrive and do great things for the royal family and become that man his mother was. Okay. But when obviously he met his wife, lovely wife, he calls him my wife. The wife took him away from here, and see what he has ended up in. Okay, but for him to come back here, maybe he needs to start planning his way back in as an individual rather than coming in as a unit with his wife. Because we know how his wife is not ready, but also how his wife has made such a damage here that it will be very hard for her to be accepted back in. It is easy for Harry to say, I was misled, I need forgiveness. Okay, because they know most of these things that Harry is saying are being are out of because of an influence which is coming from somewhere, and very much from his wife. Okay. To control him, we still love them anyway, but they need to change. Yep. That is very great of you to say that. Okay. Yes, very good to say. Lady, co-parenting is very much a norm. Yes, and they can still co-parent. Okay, but the most important thing now is to try and see these people become good people, especially Harry now, because this is his home. Meghan left. She's in her home. That's her home. So she is there. The fact that she took away Harry and is now looking like a lost sheep abroad is what is really, really painful to see. When Harry has a family who loved him so much here, he had a good relationship with Catherine and a good relationship with his brother. He was always having those jokes and laughter moments with his grandmother, the Queen, and all those things vanished since he left. They all vanished within 6 months of marrying his wife. Something which tells us that really there is a problem somewhere. Okay? So it is just as simple as Harry saying, right, I want to wake up one morning and say, I want to get back into what I used to be before. And it's as simple as reaching out to the Queen as an individual and say, I want to see you, Grandma. I want to see you, my brother. I want to see you, my dad. Let's have a conversation. And then he tries to try and get back into their good books, you know. I was misled to do what I did. You know, I didn't know this would come out as this. I was naive. I was still very young. You know, I was so much in love, because sometimes people do what they do because they are so much in love that they actually don't see the repercussions of the steps they are taking. So he has all these avenues to try and use to get back into working here, because this is what Harry is well suited for. He's not suited for venting for himself in United States. He's not suited to become employed by organizations, by companies, because he's also a royal first and foremost, who is very risky in terms of security and all those things. So I don't see him getting a normal 9 to 5 job or even being a director in a company, in an establishment, just like I would be. Okay. Okay. Because I don't have anybody I have to worry about, but yet he has. And the only place he can work safely, live safely, you know, is inside the royal family, with the support in place, with the security in place, with establishments that are already feeding off the royal family. So it's just Harry turning up in his suit and tie, cameramen there, take photographs, him shaking hands, and that's it. But whatever he's doing right now in the US is not well suited to Harry, and he is bound to struggle. Yet his wife is telling him, you can make it, we can make it, we can do this. Stay away from them. They don't want to see you thrive. They don't want to see you do this. Okay. So she's using Harry to be in the US so she can be seen as I'm married to the prince, and then she can get her projects forward. Okay. But anyway, guys, I think we've had a good laugh. Yes, so the Queen will never stand down, Joseph. Oh, for sure, it will be different to you. Oh, yes, yes. So the Queen obviously, no, she has standing for the Queen. Do you think the Queen should be advised to stand down? The Queen saw an allegiance that she is going to serve her country her whole life, the country and the Commonwealth her whole life. Okay, so you are very right, Lauren, and Joseph. It's great that you've asked that question, because so many people are asking that question: can this Queen stand down? And such an answer here, Lauren, from you, that the Queen can't stand down. She will never, unless she just tries, she abdicates or whatever, but she will never, because she swore to the whole country, the whole Commonwealth, that she's going to serve us her whole life. But I think there are so many great things for the Queen to still stay here with us as Queen. First, because not only is she a great leader, but she has also established those great links with the Commonwealth as an individual, that those links are now serving us as a country very well. Okay. Some Commonwealth states like Canada, Australia, New Zealand are holding on to the Commonwealth because the Queen is still the head of state. They love Queen Elizabeth so much. So we want her to hold on as much as she can, so that we can still have this Commonwealth stay as a unit. When the Commonwealth is together, the world is stronger, UK is stronger, but also opportunities people have to come and work. Opportunities people come have to access all these resources in all these Commonwealth, whether it's human resources, whether it's work and all that stuff, are immense when people are traveling in the name of Commonwealth. Movement of people from Canada to New Zealand to Australia to UK as part of the Commonwealth. All these Commonwealth games that are bringing countries together are all, good for these countries. These activities, these events are good for these countries as a Commonwealth. So having the Queen as head of state, I think very much serves us in the right way, and we would like to see her hold on as much as she can. Okay. Be the one to pick up the pieces. Absolutely, Lily. Absolutely. That's what actually I said earlier. It is always going to be the royal family to pick up all these pieces. So he better needs to sort himself out before things, get even worse. Okay. Yeah. So Prince Charles, of course, has now started. Technically, he hasn't been crowned as king, but he's working behind the scenes, helping the queen to step in things. And I think this is how it's going to be until finally the queen decides that, okay, this is enough until, you know, but I think the queen is going to hold on as for as much as she can. Not that she is greedy with power or because she doesn't want to see her son come through the ranks, but simply because she swore an allegiance to the whole Commonwealth and the country that she's going to serve as her whole life. And I don't think we're in so much rush to see her go. Okay, we enjoy seeing for Queen Elizabeth, even if she just comes with her walking stick and sits down there, that's enough to bring that to that's enough to cause change to bring that environment that people want to have in that place where she is. So even if she just walked in here and sat there and just waved, that alone is enough for people. Just seeing her, looking at her, her presence really, really exudes a lot of positive energy. Okay, so I think you saw when she went with Prince Charles in Holyrood, Scotland for the Royal Week, and she just arrived there, sat down. Charles went and did all the inspection, and Queen Elizabeth was sat there. But it was people loved it. People loved seeing the Queen there. And the older she gets, the more adorable she becomes, the more wiser. And she's such a uniting factor. Can you imagine over Christmas? All her family converges at Queen Elizabeth is at Sandringham Estate. The grandsons or the little kids come, great grandchildren come around and they play. She's still uniting her family, and everybody's always looking forward to going to Sandringham to spend some good time. Now imagine Queen Elizabeth away. You're always going to feel that huge void, but not just for the royal family, even us, okay? When Queen Elizabeth steps out, we have something to talk about. It's big, big news for us as royalists. So I'm here wondering how will my channel be when Queen Elizabeth one day decides, right, I've had enough. Of course, I'm going to feel it because she's such big news to my channel here. Whenever she steps out, that is big news for me here. And we know that Catherine, William are great royals coming through the ranks, but they are still not yet there, not yet to that level. They are also raising their children. Children are still very young, okay? So we know that they need that time to raise their young Prince George, Charlotte, and Louis. And then Prince Charles, yes, we might say he's been waiting for 73 years to become king. Yes, he's more than ready. But again, I think he still needs a little bit more time for Camilla to get used to for people to accept Camilla fully. Okay, so Camilla is now starting to step up. Camilla is starting to get into people's good books. So we want to see Prince Charles and Camilla repair their image fully before they actually get to launch. And that is why Queen Elizabeth is very, very important right now to still be here to drive the royal family forward as all these other parties get themselves ready to take over. And so we see these times are very tough for the royal family, with the likes of Meghan and Harry is also pulling the royal family down across the Atlantic. And who is again holding us family together is the Queen. Okay, because when people talk ill about the royal family, people look at what the Queen has done to us and then they block their ears, from taking in any rubbish that is coming from the Meghan and Harrys, because the Queen has done so much good for us today to sort of to take down the royal family when she is still very much here. So I think you would agree with me all here that we still want the Queen to be very much around, to still be in the driving seat, to be very much in charge of all these decisions, because she is such a great leader and we adore her so much. Right, guys, I think we have had a good catch up. Uh, okay. We still love the Queen. The royal family won't have much energy if she stands down. Yes, yes, I agree with you 100%. Lorraine, I agree with you 100%. Lillian, thank you for chipping in. Yes, I think Joseph, you have got your question answered. Yes, Prince Charles will become king, but I think his time is still not very much ripe. Let's first see the Queen taking the royal family forward, you know, as she has always done, until every department is well catered for, until everyone is as confident as they can be, but also until they first handle this wave of Meghan and Harry that is trying to tear the royal family down. There is nobody that can handle that other than the Queen, because she has so much power, unshakable power, that not even Meghan and Harry can bring her down. Okay. So, guys, I think that's it today. It's been a good hour plus, and this phone is trying to show signs of breaking down in terms of its battery. So we will catch up again next time. Okay. I really don't feel sorry for him. Start feeling sorry for him the minute Opera got involved. His grandfather was in hospital seriously. Oh, yes, Lorraine, yes. Yes. It is so easy nowadays not to feel sorry for Meghan and Harry, because they are putting themselves in these difficult situations, and they are failing to acknowledge the fact that nobody actually said to them leave. They chose to leave simply because in the first place they wanted to have one foot in, one foot out. Okay. No sympathy, absolutely. They have no sympathy at all. And I think some people would say Harry was bewitched or some, and they're also right to say that, because look at how Harry used to be with his grandmother before, before things turned the way they did. He used to joke around. He used to, okay, to going from that to somebody who can spend 2 years without even coming to see his grandmother. Communication is very sterile, okay? And allowing his wife to go on social media and say all those things about the Queen, the royal family, whether he said about Prince Charles, or whether she talked about, uh, uh, whether Meghan said, talked about William and Catherine, all those things, they were still talking about the Queen, because this is her royal family, this is her establishment. Okay, so for Harry to allow these things to happen, to allow his wife to do those things, and also to come and be manipulated to say whatever he said, I think was so demoralizing of him, and very disrespectful of his grandmother, of his family, a family that loved them so much, family that allowed him to marry, because they wouldn't have allowed him to marry Meghan if they didn't want to, but they left him because they knew, okay, if this is going to be his happiness, so be it. And then this is what it turned out to be. Somebody just wanted to get in, get famous, use the royal titles to climb up and get all those other projects, and that's what she did. She didn't have the decency of saying, right, okay, let me wait a few years maybe. But 6 months after off she had gone. Okay, and if they had gone there and kept quiet, that would have been another thing. They said they wanted privacy. They said they wanted somewhere away, quiet, but then they ended up in California. Okay, they ended up in, giving interviews again, getting in front of cameras, big audiences, seeing them talk all these things. What sort of privacy did they want? Clearly, they just had an agenda. And this is why people are so angry right now. And Kate, I love William and Kate and our beautiful, wonderful queen. Yeah. William and Kate, so adorable couple and very respectful of the queen. Very humble, very loyal. And I just hope Harry had learned from William and Kate, because he was always right there at the center of William and Kate's relationship. He had seen how they were doing, how they were conducting themselves, how they were doing all these engagements, and the special relationship that William and Catherine had built with people. I thought Harry had something to learn from. But it's very painful to see that Harry did not learn anything from his brother, and not from even Kate, that was very good friends with him before he married Meghan. He went from being that great brother, great grandson, to being somebody who is very untrustworthy by the royals. I think the book is just going to add fuel to the fire. Absolutely. And that is why they are holding that book from being published. Harry is sort of worried the impact the book might cause, but not to the royal family, but also to his already damaged relationship with the world. Because people already cannot believe in what they say. So in that book, I highly think there is something new that they did not talk about in those Oprah Winfrey interviews. Okay. So it is just going to make things very difficult for them. Okay. But also, we know that Tom Boyer's book, The Revenge, which was released recently, has done a lot of, again, damage to Meghan and Harry here. And whatever they are going to say in the book, this book has already made some big revelations that are bound to counter whatever they might say in Meghan and Harry's book, if it does come out. Again, this is a huge challenge Meghan and Harry have to overcome, if they are to become successful with their book, which is highly unlikely. Because even establishments, I don't think, are very much looking at investing in this book, because people have already promised not to buy this book. They are not interested in whatever is going to be in the book and all that. But guys, we have talked a lot tonight. I think I have to let you guys have a great night. It's been great catching up with all of you. Thank you so much for sticking around till the very end. I've enjoyed your discussions. I've enjoyed your knowledgeable responses and your thoughts on these subjects, guys. You are the drivers of these messages. I truly appreciate every single one of you that has made this live. And all of you, my 5 stars here. Lauren, Phoebe, Lily, D, Huxtable, thank you for joining in. You joined in a little late, but we appreciate your presence. Lauren, you are lovely. You missed a few lives, but you've caught up with this one eventually. Thank you so much. Lovely lady, thank you. And everybody else who has been on this page, sharing your incredible thoughts. We have missed a few other connections that usually show up on these lives. Fiona isn't here. We haven't seen Kate. Kate C usually turns up as well. She's not here. And most of all these other royals, Catherine White from Australia hasn't been able to make this one as well. And then, yes, who else? Yeah, but it's always great to see you guys turning up on these lives. I really, really appreciate your support. And I think scheduling these lives really, really helps. So I'll always be putting the timings up beforehand so that you can keep that bell on there so that you're reminded of the time. But thank you guys so much. I hope you're all going to have an awesome Sunday and rest of the weekend. Let us catch up again soon. I think in 3 days' time, 3 or 2 days' time, unless there is a big, big story that comes up. But I do appreciate your every support, guys. If you can manage, guys, to go and give a bit of boost on my recent post I've just put up about the lessons that Meghan and Harry need to do to get back into people's good books, I would be very glad, you guys. But let us keep these messages going. Lauren, just to respond to your last message there before I go, I'm sure some people will buy it just out of interest, but I can't see it selling as much. Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, they still have their fans. The Sussex fans are out there, okay, who are failing to see the bad things their royals are doing, okay? That these would be Meghan fans out there. I'm sure these will still buy that book. But the sales that that book is going to make in comparison to how much they would have put in will definitely put them in very, very difficult positions, if not in huge debts. Okay, but we shall have to wait and see, and that is if that book ever comes out, because that's another thing as well. So guys, thank you so much. Night, and let us catch up very, very soon. Bye bye, guys.